great Saturday. I have something really fun for you today. It's rather technical, and if you stay till the end, I will show you the template that I made, how to make your own template out of a window sheet to make a perfect wreath. So notice that I have stamped, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different stamps on this card, and they're all perfectly spaced. That's because I made a template to use with my Stamparatus. So you're going to love it. And it's not hard to do. So this is not the card we're going to make. This is just one of the examples that I made. And that was using the Beautiful Bouquet stamp set. And then this is the one that I'm going to show you. Has 4 different stamps. And then I did the punched, the background that is just punched there. This has the background that has been, I used the Big Shot to cut those centers out. This one just has punches on it. All right, so let's get started with the cards. And let me just pop over here to my iPad and share this video. Alrighty, so here we are. I have something. I don't want that sound going right now, so let's turn that sound down. And let's see. Hi, Pam. Let me share this. Well, maybe I'm not. I always think I'm going to do these great technique things, technological things, and then I always seem to bomb. So I'm sorry about that delay in getting started. So do you see the shape that is cut in that window shape, air window sheet? So that is going to allow us to create a fabulous wreath card. So this, my new favorite product, it is a foam pad and grid pad that can be used in your Stamparatus, and it's a plastic, so you can stamp right on it and wipe it off. This window sheet is 7 by 7 and fits perfectly in there. I am going to use the magnets not to hold my paper, but to hold that window sheet down, making sure that it's all the way in the corner, so that if it comes loose, then I can put it back in place. So we are going to start with a 4x4 piece of very vanilla paper, and I'm going to be pulling out these 2 stamps right here, and also the leaves, the large leaf, and then the little accent piece that goes on top of the leaf right here. There we go. So those are all the flower parts that I'm going to be using. And the way you do this is after you've made your template for a 4x4 square, then you just start by putting your piece down where you would like it. Now, I know that I'm going to be trimming this square down to 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 when I'm done. So I don't want it all the way to the edge. But I do want, and I don't want it like perfectly centered, so I'm going to go slightly off and slightly away from this corner right here. So that looks good right there. Hi, Jackson. Jackson always knows when I go live and likes to come visit. And there's his sweet little hands. Okay, so using my Flirty Flamingo, which is very, very juicy, I'm going to ink up my stamp and then press. And then notice that I'll just turn this 1 notch into the other corners. Now, because I made this template, it's not 100% perfect, and because I cut the papers not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. So ink the knit back up again. Let's see, do I want that right that close? Yes, I do. Okay. And then turning it again counterclockwise. And again counterclockwise. And again counterclockwise. Again. Isn't this cool the way this turns out? I keep bumping my light, sorry for the shaking. And then one more time. And then we'll be doing the, there we go. Then we'll be doing the top part of the flower. And I never can decide how I want to put this on there, but it's abstract impression, so there's not really a perfect way to line this up. So just whatever you like is going to work. And I'll go ahead and clean this one off. And we'll be stamping the top part of the flower with Poppy Parade. Go, so got that in place. Now, if I wanted, I could use both doors of the Stamparatus and do the leaves at the same time, but I tend to get confused when I'm trying to do two things at once. Oh, doesn't that look great? And so now we'll turn that again, counterclockwise. And we'll go ahead and do all of these. Oop, that one got a little funky, didn't it? There we go. I don't know if that was because I didn't have it lined up in my template straight. Must have been. Don't you love this? So are you thinking about all the stamp sets that you could do wreaths in? So far I've only used petite small stamps. I had an idea for the first frost stamp set that I'd like to try. Set those distinctive roses. Okay, I'm feeling like this is getting out of place, so let's make sure that's in the right spot. There we go. Oh, it looks so pretty already. Yay! All right, so let's go ahead and get the leaves going. I do like the way the leaves turned out on this, and then I have that granny apple paper to highlight it, add some contrast. So we will be adding the leaf right up there. And I do need to clean this off. I gotta get a new plate. So there we go. Pick that up. Granny apple green. And turn it. Now again, I said that at the end of the video, I will be sharing with you how to make your own template out of a window sheet and your paper trimmer. It's really not very difficult at all, following my directions. It was really fun for me to figure out because I'm a geometry, I love shapes and kind of designing that kind of thing. So it was really fun for me. But hey, you don't need to do it because I figured it out for you. Hopefully I can, when I'm on camera, I can remember how I did it. But if not, I'll figure it out. So I wasn't super happy with the way I did the second layer of the leaf. So I'm anxious to try something new. And it looks like we're almost there. I've almost made it all the way around third time. So you can see this is going pretty quickly, isn't it? So I wanted to get that in there like that. Okay, ready to clean off my plate and that stand. So I know this is kind of off camera the way I'm cleaning this, but I just use a microfiber cloth and my Stampin' Mist. This is a really old bottle of Stampin' Mist. There we go. All right. Let's do the top of the leaves. Oh, that got kind of off. How did that get off? Is this one going to be off too? Like it is. So I'm going to clean that up and straighten that out a little bit. Okay, let's make sure that I have my paper straight and in the template before I close that. There. Looks like it might be a little better. I'm going with it. That one turned out nice. Again, just rotating counterclockwise each time. Now, did you notice how much ink I have on the plate of my apparatus? And I don't get any on my project. That is the beauty of using the Stamparatus. I suppose if you pressed hard enough, you could get on there. But I rarely have, and I'm kind of a messy stamper, so it's a fabulous product to have. Essential for this technique that I'm doing right now. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Love it. All right, let me close my ink and clean this off. Don't get pineapple green all over everything. Alrighty, so I think that I will skip doing the whole card and just show you how I finished the card. So I have a 2 1/4 inch granny apple green punched there, and then I stamped the image, the greeting that is also from Abstract Impressions. I stamped it in granny apple green, punched it out with a 2-inch circle punch, and then I stamped it again on a scrap piece of Very Vanilla in Poppy Parade, and then just trimmed out that To Love and glued it right on top so that I got the different colors. Now I could fuss around with this with my markers, and that's another great way to get 2 colors, but I thought cutting this would be simple. I trimmed down my focal point. I trimmed it a little bit more than I wanted to, so this next one I'm going to try to trim down less. And then I can't decide if I like the lace on there or not. I will be stamping the inside piece with some of the flowers from Abstract Impressions as well, and the envelope, of course. So let me show you how I am going to, or how I created this template. First thing I need is a piece of paper that is cut 4x4, and I am going to finish that card. I believe I have a piece of, yes I do, granny apple green that is already cut to 4x4, And I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of adhesive on the back of it. And I'll be putting that on top of my window sheet right in the center. So first thing I want to do is trim my window sheet to the 7 by 7 inches. So display by 7. And then just double checking, and I did check to see if this was 7 inches, and yeah, it is. So what I'm going to do now is using my grid that fits in the Stamparatus. Uh-oh, you know what just happened? My magnets stuck together. I didn't put them on the back like I was supposed to. But this is what I want. And I'm just going to put my window sheet right on top of there. I'm not moving my paper trimmer out of the way because I need to use that again. And I'm going to be putting this, because I know this is 4 by 4, and I know that this is 7, then there's 3 inches left over. So I need to divide those 3 inches at both ends. So that'll be 1.5 inches. So I'm coming both in 1.5 inches and up 1.5 inches. So I have 1.5 inches margin all the way around this sheet of 7 by 7 window sheet. Okay, so now I will be putting that into my paper trimmer and moving this down to the 5.5 mark. That should give me the 1.5 inches here, and you can see that you're lined up at the 1.5 inches on your paper trimmer as well. I will start at 1.5. This little line right here on the edge of your trimmer lined up with the 1.5 right there, and pulling it down to the 5.5. And then I will be doing that 4 times. So again, lining this up here at 5.5. Lining the line of my trimmer up with the 1.5, pulling down to 5.5. Turning it counterclockwise, lining it up at 5.5, lining up my paper trimmer at 1.5, and down to 5.5. And then the last cut, lining up here at 5.5, my blade at 1.5, pulling down to 5.5. No, and it went a little past because it was cutting the paper. So once it got loose of the paper, it just kind of flew, but that's okay. It doesn't hurt anything. So now what I'll be doing is I'll just remove that window sheet that's stuck to my paper, and I'm going to get my grid back on here, putting the window sheet in that 7 by 7 space. I need to now figure out how to get this on there perfectly centered. So the top and the bottom I want to be perfectly centered, so that should be at 3.5, and this should also be at 3.5. And guess what? This needs to be at 3.5, and this needs to be at 3.5. So just trying to get all of my corners. Now I know that my paper isn't necessarily perfect, but we can get this really, really close. And I think that's looking good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of ink. Right, let's try that again. So lining this up with my grid, and then putting this end on 3.5, that 3.5, this 3.5, The other side, 3.5. Eek. Oh, now I'm having trouble. Okay, 3.5. 3.5. 3.5. 3.5. And that's looking good. Okay. All right, I can breathe again. And this is going to be a little trickier. You're going to line your point up with just slightly past the 2. I could give you that exact measurement, but you wouldn't like it. And this one down here just past 2. And this needs to be lined up. The edge of your 4x4 paper needs to be lined up. And then what we'll do is right here at 3 and pull down to 7. And it is going to be, it is always going to end up being that 3 to 7. There we go. And my blade at 3, pulling down to 7. Oh. Just a little past 2. And then 3 to 7. Past 2. Is that it? Yep, I've done them all. So we have like this 8-pointed star. And that is how you make your template that then fits inside your Stamparatus. It allows you to make perfect wreaths time after time after time. And let me just show you one more time the finished card and my other one made with beautiful bouquets. If you have any questions about any of this, oh, look at all the people. I got so concentrating on what I was doing. I missed all of you people who were here watching me. So thanks for joining. If you would share my video, I would love that. And I will be uploading later some information and a link to my blog where you can get these dimensions and the colors. And if you are planning on ordering in December, which I hope you are, there's just a few days left, please use the December hostess code right there at the top of the screen. And go to kellyrose.stampinup.net to place your orders. If you place an order of $50 or more, then I'll be sending you some holiday rhinestones out of the holiday catalog, which will be great for all year round, great colors. And if you don't have a demonstrator, then please let me know. I would love to get you a holiday or an occasions catalog that starts in January 3rd. You have until January 3rd to order from the holiday catalog, and then the occasions catalog starts after that. So have a great Saturday night and Sunday, and I'll see you soon.